Okay, madam, you can start now.
Hello, good afternoon everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. Today we have scheduled webinar on Unpacking Core Human Values, which has been organized by Applied Science and Humanities Department of Parul Polytechnic Institute, Parul University. The main agenda of this webinar is to know about neuro-linguistic programming, congruent way of living, growing up in life, and learn about Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I, Vaishali Nathwani, would like to introduce today's guest speaker, Renata Pentek. She is an MBA level educated senior finance director with 20 plus years of managerial experience in manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, consultancy, and banking. Committed to support, inspire, mentor, and influence others, and to always leave an impact. Seeking an opportunity as a remote global head of financial planning analysis that need you to provide creative solutions, drive business insight, maintain operational excellence, continuous improvement, and best practice. She has also been selected by CEO among 1,500 employees to be in a 7-member team of the due diligence. She has been recognized as fast-growing career achiever among 1,500 employees. She is an NLP practitioner and an SAP Business Object Desktop Intelligence. It's a privilege to welcome you, ma'am, here.
Okay, good morning, everyone,
Good
because
morning.
it's still morning in Europe. Good afternoon to you, and welcome to this webinar. I really thank you for inviting me, and it's my pleasure and honor to be today with you and with all of your guests and the audience. I wanted to somehow put this presentation. I have only 1 hour. It's really short time for me to share with you all I wanted to share.
Okay.
But I can share the presentation now, right?
And yes, ma'am. You can start with the session. Yes.
Okay, so we can go through the presentation, and then I believe it will be much easier for us to. Okay, so I hope you can see it now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I will share it. Okay, just a second. Slideshow. Okay, so thank you again. You told about me, so and the introduction. What I have in life and what is my main motto in life is success is not just what you accomplish in your life. It is about what you inspire others to do. And this is the main reason why I was so interested in NLP and why I became interested some 13, 14 years ago now, apart from the finance that I like so much. So my motto is always leave things better than you found them and always leave some impact. This is the agenda, short agenda that you already presented. So I somehow put it in the minutes because we are limited with the time. I hope we will have enough time to go through all I wanted to share with you. So what is actually neuro-linguistic programming, NLP? I will start with this sentence. People don't always do what they do for the reason we think they do. Why I say this here? Because how many times we have heard the word change is the only constant. Be the wish you change to see the world. I mean, these are the two famous, I put the pictures. We have Heraclitus, we have famous Mahatma Gandhi. When I was kindly offered by Mr. Patel to conduct a webinar and choose the title and subject of my own, the first question that crossed my mind was what to speak about that can be interesting to the audience, especially to the students. I hope the students are attending this as well, that are about to start their lives now, because I have a long life now and I'm almost at the end with the working career, let's say. But when you start your life, you don't know what to do or where to go or what is my vision in life, I would say. So, and at the same time, this presentation should have been enough educational and inspiring for all of you that are going to be here with us for 1 hour. So I said, as I master and excel in two things, I can do either financial planning and analysis that you said at the beginning, which is the finance thing that I do for over 25 years, or I can take some topic from the NLP. And I said, let's unpack our core human values, because this is where it all starts. It all starts with NLP. NLP is not a therapeutic session. It is here to enable personal growth. And for those who want to develop a state of personal excellence, to become strong, determined, mature, decisive, transparent, whatever you name it, kind, honest, responsible human beings, after all. And these are all, in the end, soft skills that we put in our CV, my dear audience. But I mean, we all want that, right? We all want to strive for that in life. But when we put it in our CV as soft skills, do we really have that in us, or we are just putting that because somebody wants to read it? So what we can do is we can become that if we know what are our values. And if we know our values, we know that the reasons why we say what we say and why we do the things that we do. And this is one of the major things that we need to discover in ourselves. So if we want to understand why we have gotten the results, we have to actually know ourselves and go into our own being and our own values, let's say. And the results that we have gotten are actually the results of our actions and the quality of our thinking. So how we frame things will determine how we feel today. Frame of reference is some very well-known term in NLP, because this is how we frame things in our life, and this will determine how we feel today and our current state. So the more we master our self-awareness, the better we will be, and the better will be our quality of life, and we will be open to understand more people around us. This will increase the quality of our relationship as well. So please remember that people don't always do what they do for the reason we think they do. There are some things that I also want to do here and say, which is the Socrates very famous quote, which he said, "I know you won't believe me, but the highest form of human excellence is to question oneself and question others." And this is what we always need to do. I also put here something, this is very famous. I don't know if anyone of you visited Greek. This is from the famous temple of Apollo in Greek. And it's written in Greek, in ancient Greek, notis auton, which is also know thyself, which is what Socrates said, which is also know thyself, nos ipson in Latin. One of the first inscribed in Temple of Apollo. Another example I can give you is from the book The Art of War from Sun Tzu. I hope you believe you heard of it. If not, it's the book I really recommend for all of you to read. It's the book from all the Chinese war general. It was also some 500-600 years BC, like Socrates and Apollo Temple, 300-400 years BC. The book is saying it's one of the, still today, considered as one of the best military strategic tactics of the time. And for those that haven't heard or read about it, it says that it's applied today in the managerial world as well. And what is said in this book is know others and know thyself. So know ourselves, and you will not be endangered by innumerable battles. And even the ancient times, old philosophers knew that all starts from within, from us. And this is what NLP is all about. It is about self-mastery. So know thyself, my dear audience, know thyself, and let's never forget that. The other topic that continues is the congruent way of living. What is the congruent way of living? Why we say that we want to have the congruent way of living? It's how we grow up in life. Do we want to grow up in life? I believe we all want to grow up in life. Now everybody will say, yeah, that's fine. This all great sounds perfect, and what you are saying is perfect. But how, Renata? Please tell us how to know thyself. You know, how to master the self-mastery and how to understand ourselves. There is no magic step. There is no crystal ball. There is no any kind of wizardry or no quick path to development. And certainly I cannot present it to you in 60 minutes, but what I can do is maybe initiate the process of you in you of self-awareness and self-mastery you want to achieve. And then maybe intrigue you to learn more about NLP and self-development. I never ask for anybody's approval. Some people go through life by avoiding punishment, while you will meet some other people that go through life by making other people happy. These are two big differences. What do I mean by that? If we have scared people around us, I'm sorry about my voice. I was the past 2 weeks very sick, and I tried to recover my voice as much as possible. So I'm still having some problems. I hope you hear me well. So what do I mean by that? Scared people are people that actually are afraid of other people to understand what is their result, and basically they do everything to save their likable face, let's put it that way, rather than to share with other people that they messed up, because we all mess up at some point, and we all mess up, and this is the normal, and this is human, and this is how we live and how we grow up. So think about that. If we are honest to ourselves, we can be honest to each other as well. But if we are not honest to ourselves and we are trying to pretend to be somebody that we are not, then imagine then the picture that other people will have about us. It's not we that they are going to have about us. So we are, what I say, always one decision away of changing things in our life. Only one decision away, and always remember that. There is somebody that once said long time ago, our desire to change needs to be greater than our desire to be the same. Our desire to change needs to be greater than our desire to remain the same. Remember that. Why? Because we need to have a vision of what person we want to become in our life. We need to step out of our perfection mindset, because we all at some point want to be perfect, but this is totally wrong. The first step of growing in life is to step out of our comfort zone and basically to get that desire that we change. Now, we also need to step out of the mindset that we want to be perfect in our life. Perfection is wrong. So in my opinion, forget perfection. This is the heavy weight to carry on our back, because seeking for perfection will stop you from any growth. We need to strive for progress, and this is where we need to go, and compare only to ourselves, because if we want to compare to others, then again, we will not be happy with ourselves, because we will always point to the figures in others, and we will say, but they are doing this, we are not doing that. This is wrong. Think about it. We need to compare only to ourselves, because we don't know what they are going through their life. We don't know what they are living, and basically we don't know what is basically they want out of their needs. And this is why we will go later through the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because we need to frame things that will determine how we feel today. So many reactions in our life is rather our conclusion of our conclusion of what we see and hear. And it's brought based on our perception and not the real situation. So what we need also to do is to do some shift in perspective. Responsibility breeds empowerment. I wrote here, because the more responsibility we take for our lives, then our decisions will definitely be more to our state of mind. And this will enable us to get where we want. And that means that the more empowered we get through the whole process of growing. Why do I say shift in perspective? Because we need to somehow always take what they say, view from other shoes. Like, why do people always say, but take the view from other shoes? Don't always look the things from our side. Because it is proved that 9 out of 10 times our conclusions on what we see or hear is brought based on this perception that I said, and not the real situation. Because we react emotionally based on our past experiences. And our past experiences is something that we have in our lives, because we were built through our lives based on what we experienced, what we were taught by our parents, what we were taught by our teachers, our school, maybe in religious, our priests and everybody. And this is what is basically in our mind somewhere behind. And we work on what I say automatic pilots. So we know that we do some things based on something that we learned in the past that is somewhere in our head, but we don't know why we are doing that. So we need to take the shift in our perspective and basically understand why some things are happening the way they are happening. We should think about external factors. So instead that impact us internally. So in external factors that impact us internally, and how that we can develop our self-awareness. The fact that we have is we always have a choice. We always have a choice. So what I say, be the fly on the wall, like go out of yourself, be that fly on the wall and try to see the things from other perspectives. Try to see the things from the perspective that fly has on the wall. It's a totally different perspective. It's somehow maybe the 3D perspective that the fly has. We have to always try to look for the things from different perspectives. And if we want to be congruent in our life, then we have to forget the what I say, unhealthy approach of agreeing or disagreeing with some things. What I say is we need to seek to understand. So we need to learn how to self-regulate in order to be dependent, not to be dependent on powers of others. Why? Because if we are self-regulating ourselves, then we are not letting other people to take the power over us. And basically we are able to be dependent on that case. Have the wise reasoning. Be grounded and have emotional balance by understanding more other people rather than to defend yourself and our own personal excellence. Why do I say that? How many times we have found ourselves when in any conversation when people were talking to us, and let's say we made a mistake or anything like that. Instead of trying to understand what other people is trying to say to us and maybe understand how they understood the way we communicated with them, we are trying, or we are basically trying constantly to defend ourselves and trying to defend our excellence. Oh yes, but I did it because of that, and that. You don't understand it. That is the wrong perception. This is not what the people that have self-mastery are doing in their lives. So we need to take different perspective. We need to take a step out of our comfort zone and try to look for some other ways of looking at things. So redirect our focus, and what I say, the things are not always the way we see them and we perceive them. And our problem is the biggest until we make the problem bigger than the original problem. And that is the truth. Because if we make our problem the biggest the problem in the world, then we have a problem on its own. But if we are trying and approaching that problem with a wish to solve that problem and finding a solution, then this is not a problem anymore. This is a challenge that we want to. So we need to overpass our critical factors, and we need to go out of our comfort zone. What I say, we need to allow ourselves to grow, to look for new perspectives, for new outlooks, maybe understand new perspectives that others have. Let's say, just be honest and truthful to ourselves. We will come to that, because the truth is something that will set us free. And where we will find the truth, our dear audience, in our heart. So follow, go into your heart, follow it, and I believe all is written there. One just example from the different perspective that we can have. I don't know if many of you have read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People of Stephen Covey. If not, read that book. It's very useful and I recommend it. There is one example of different perspective. I will say just briefly. You have the train, and in the train traveling in the same space, you have a businessman that is working on his computer, and you have a father that is looking through the window, and 2 children running all around, making noise and everything. And then the businessman that is trying to work is always lifting his head and, when they will stop. And at some point he just couldn't bear it, and he's saying to the father opposite, and saying, look, can you put these kids, under control? They're screaming and I'm trying to work here, do something. And then the father, who was like looking through the window with some distant look that we could see, turn around and to the businessman and say, but please, I'm sorry. We just, their mother died. We just buried the mother. So I'm sorry, I will put them into control. We are sad and we are crying, And then he said, kids, please just calm down a little bit. The businessman is trying to work. So, you see, the businessman thought that this man, that his father, this man is irresponsible, that he is not able to take under control his children, while in the end, something else was there. So believe me, 9 out of 10 times, this is already written everywhere, is something that is wrongly understood by our perception. So always take the different perspective and try to understand what other people are saying. So do not agree or disagree, seek to understand. So how to grow in life? There are some self-reflection questions I did hear from my mentor. I like to repeat his question. His name is Kay Ramsey. He's from Scotland, and there are some questions of self-reflections I could hear, but there are many more. For this 60 minutes webinar, I think this is more than enough to have these questions. So what pattern of behavior do I need to change in my life? We need to be honest to ourselves, and we need to sometimes ask self-reflection questions that are maybe sometimes harsh to us, that we don't want to admit. So what patterns of behavior do I need to change in my life? We need to be honest with ourselves. In what ways do I behave unhelpfully or inappropriately? Oh yes, we do behave all unhelpfully and inappropriately. So we need to be aware when and in which situations. If others acted towards me as I act towards them, would I like them? Oh yes. We always put fingers and point fingers in others, but yes, why do they behave? Have we ever stopped and think properly? How do we treat others? And is this the way, if they treat us, that we would like them to treat us? Now, one really strong question for you to think. and self-reflect. Would you steal food from a shop to feed a starving child? This is really a self-reflection. Would I break the law and kill to save a member of my family? Is it something that I would do in my life? We need to have answers for that. You need to have answers. So be honest with yourself. To what degree have I controlled the course my life has taken so far? I mean, was I in control of my life so far? If not, then I need to do something and I need to change my life. And I need to basically do something to be better. What advice would I give to a younger me about making wise decisions? Now, we all have our younger version of ourselves, and we are older now. Have we grown in our life? Yes, I guess we acquired some knowledge. Are there any advices that we would give to younger me? Yes, I have many advices that I would give to younger me. So that means I have grown in my life and I am able to be honest to myself and I can self-reflect on the things that I can change. Now, related to the self-reflection questions to the communication and relationship with others we have is, what behavior frustrates me the most in other people? Because yes, that is what is happening. So why is it this behavior frustrates me? Is it because that is something that I don't like or I don't like the person? You have to understand that you have to go deep in your heart, what I say, and see what is that is frustrating you, because it is not the problem of other person, it's in us. We need to change the perspective. We need to approach the person differently and accept it. We need to seek to understand. In what ways do I judge people before understanding them? Yes, we are pointing fingers all the time at other people. Why we do that? It's not fair. Why we are not patient enough to listen them and to see what they're trying to say and what they're trying to share with us, because we don't understand the same way things. We are not at the same level of understanding. So we need to basically have patience for other people. And now we go to this Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Needs we all know and heard about that, but why did I share it here as a quick reminder for all of us? It is because I've decided to share it with you. It is one of the, I would say, it's a psychological idea, but it's also a valuable assessment tool for all of us, because it is how to study our human needs in a natural way that participate in our, let's say, behavioral and motivational human needs that we have. Maslow used several terms. That's why it's called hierarchy or pyramid. It starts from the physiological safety, belonging, and love, social needs or esteem, self-actualization, and then you will find that many times the final one, which is the transcendence. They're all here to describe the pattern through which we as a human, or our motivation, I would say human motivation generally, move. This means that in order to move the motivation to the next level and for the motivation to arise to the next level or next stage, we need to satisfy the level that we have or are at the moment there. And this is how we grow. I put it here because the Maslow pyramid is also part of our growth and how we grow in our life. This is our personal growth. This is the hierarchy of our motivational needs. So here first, the first one and the major one is the biological and physiological needs that we have. What we mean by that? This is basically the bottom of our food chain, I would say. We are all driven by these needs. Why? Because we all need food, we all need shelter, we all need Sleep, we all need to warm ourselves, we all need to drink, we all need to breathe the air. These are our basic life needs. If we do not have satisfied all these needs, we cannot go to the next level. Once we work the strategy to satisfy, let's say, or to ensure that we have all these needs, we can go to the next level, which is the safety needs. In safety needs, we might encompass the protection, security, order, law, limits, stability, etc., etc. So maybe some insurance plan we want to have, or I don't know, some financial investments to buy a home or pay off a loan that we are having. So it is basically that where we look for the security or safety, what we say. And believe me, the financial instability is one of the greatest factors that prevents human being to move beyond this level in life. This is why we call these two as basic needs we need to satisfy. And then once we satisfy the basic needs, we look for something else. What is that we are looking for? We are looking for love and belongings, because once we have our home paid off, once we have the pension plan in place, once we have all these things, we need somebody to share that. I mean, if we are alone and we have nobody to share this, even if we have, I don't know, the helicopter or the plane or the big house, private yacht, whatever you say. But if we are alone and we do not have anybody to share this, then there is no point. So we started this thing at this point to start about family, about maybe getting married, about having children, about having a community groups or involve ourselves in any community groups or anything like that. We might start thinking on affections and on relationships. And at this point, let's say we are happily married, we have maybe 3, 4, 5 children. Who is lucky? We have one, but we have everything. So we will not be motivated anymore by this, because we have ticked the box. We have the box ticked, right? We have ticked so far the 3 boxes. The physiological safety and love and belongings. And we need more. We want more. We want to grow. What do we want? We want self-esteem. Why? Because our self-esteem is generally based upon how excellent we live in our lives. If we are excellent in our relationship, if we are going to feel then strong and confident in our relationship, if we perform excellent, if we work in our endeavors, if we are creative, if I don't know, we are creating excellent things around us to the best of our abilities, or regardless of what anyone else think of us. So forget what anyone else. We need to think and believe in ourselves. Then we are, in a way, developing a bit of reputation, because in the end, the people around us will start seeing us and appreciating our companionship. And we will gain with the time some social credibility. So we are now starting to become esteemed in the eyes of other people. The question here I will ask is, when we will have enough, or will ever be enough for us in terms of reputation that we have? When is that enough? Yeah, when is that enough that we want to say? Or do we need to have enough? That is also the question. Or shall we look always for something more? So some people get stuck on each of these stages of the hierarchy, not realizing that there is somewhere else to go. Then you have basically, it's, let's say, the way we can go is the pointed in a direction of becoming a self-actualized person. So a self-actualized person is about personal growth and about fulfillment. So if we have basic needs set up and in place, if we have our psychological needs set up and in place, like I say, we kicked the boxes, right? Then what else? We need to grow personally. We need to be fulfilled, what I say, because we have all the money in the world. We have tick all the boxes, but it's still something that we are missing, right? It's still not 100% fulfilled. We don't feel fulfilled. And we don't know what it is, how to discover what it is. This is where self-actualizations come into play. What we have to do now is grow and expand and become more virtuous to offer more value to other people, to other people's life. We will come to the virtues and virtues. This is why I somehow set up all this presentation to have the flow that we can follow. So word life at this point is no longer with us because we have acquired everything else in the world, from food, from shelter, from family, from yacht, from everything, from self-esteem, from being recognized, from having a business, etc., etc. But we need to go beyond that, and we need to basically grow into something else. So we need to allow ourselves to complete that journey and become more valuable, not only for ourselves, but also valuable for others. And this is the difference, because in all these stages of basic needs and psychological needs, you will see that these are the external factors and basically are linked to the external factors and to the others. Self-actualization is about us. It's about us growing internally in all that. So it is the self-fulfillment we want. While here we are trying to, let's say, jump or go step by step. When we reach to the level of self-actualization, we feel like we are at the top of the mountain because we finally understood what is our purpose. We feel fulfilled and we feel that we have the value for not only ourselves, but also for other people. So what is the self-actualized people characteristics that Abraham Maslow said in, let's say, his pyramid? And we sometimes feel sad and upset because we don't have all the things that we want out of the whole hierarchy that I mentioned here. This is normal. But the beautiful thing is to understand the difference between needs and wants, right? It is not the same. We have to acknowledge that at all times, because most of us have all our basic fundamental human needs met. This means we have food, we have shelter, we have a roof under our head, etc. But we have to acknowledge that. And what we want is something that maybe we can strive or work towards it. It is something that is our vision, but we should not be sad if we don't have it currently in our life. And what Abraham Maslow said, there is a good book, is from 1954. So you see, it's a long, long time ago that NLP, even though it's a new discipline, started in 80s. It has its roots long, long time ago. So what Abraham Maslow said in 1954 is that all human can become in concept, he or she must become. So we will come to that and why he said that self-actual. So he did, in this book, he did the whole, let's say, research of self-actualized people. And here are some of the outcomes that I took out. For self-actualized people, it is important that they are not only strong, they are independent of opinion of others people. What does it mean? They're independent. It means that we have our own opinion, and whatever others are saying, this will not affect our emotions, because we are emotionally human beings. We are definitely emotional human beings, and we have to detach ourselves from our emotions. So we have to be independent no matter what others are saying. This is what I said at the beginning. I'm not dependent on what others are saying. I am fully confident in myself. The self-actualized people, they get along with culture in various ways, but all of them, it may be said that they, in a certain profound and meaningful saying, they resist enculturation and maintain a certain inner detachment from the culture in which they are immersed. What does it mean? I may be Christian, I may be Muslim, I may be Buddhist, but that doesn't mean that I will not respect the other religions, and I will be not open to other religions. So I need to detach somehow from my culture, because saying, yes, but you've done that way, or saying, yes, we have learned that way, or yes, my parents put that in me, is not something that self-actualized people do. They detach themselves. That doesn't mean they don't respect that culture. They just detach in order to understand better other people. Self-actualized people, they have the power to love and the ability to be loved, which means, for me, I hate nobody. I just love everybody, and that's it. No matter whether it's a killer, a terrorist, or somebody very close to my heart, I love all people. I forgive all people, and this is the only way. If we open our heart, then we will be able to understand more, because nobody chose to be terrorist. Nobody chose to be the killer. Nobody basically chose to steal. It is the circumstances that made them that way. And if somebody helped them to be self-aware and raise in basically their growth, then they would probably understand that what they are doing is not right and correct. So instead of judging and pointing fingers to other people, we should love them, provide them love, and try to be value for them, which means help them. They embrace the unknown and ambiguous. Oh yes, because if we don't step out of our comfort zone and embrace the unknown and ambiguous, we will never grow. They prioritize and enjoy the journey, not just the destination. This is the important thing. Please go and understand that the whole our life is a journey, and we need to enjoy in that journey, because what we are focused on today is just the destination, and we just go to the destination, and we just want to get there. So what we say, yeah, when I will become 35, I will have this. When I will become 40, I will have this. And then when we get there, oof, yeah, we haven't reached that. Why? Because we haven't enjoyed the journey. We haven't enjoyed the now moment. And this is the important. History is, yesterday is a history, tomorrow is a mystery, I will say. So enjoy the now moment. The self-actualized people, they accept themselves with all their flaws. Oh yes, we all have flaws. We all have our drawbacks. So we are not perfect, and this is normal. We are human beings. We cannot be perfect, but we have to learn from our mistakes and never repeat them again. So accept yourself, accept the way you are, but be honest. Go to your self-reflection questions and be honest to yourself. Go into your heart and find out what is written there, and be what you are to yourself. They are grateful what they have in life and where they are in life. So be grateful for what you have in life. Be grateful for everything that we have now. This is the most important thing. Be grateful. So Abraham Maslow said what I said at the beginning: what a human being can become in concept, he or she must become. which means that what we can become in concept, we must become. We must not be afraid to become. And to become, in order to become in concept, we will now look through this Aristotle 12 human virtues, why we say what we say, and why we do things that we do, right? This is the concept of our growth. So Aristotle was a Greek philosopher, and his 12 virtues are very, very famous, He was a student of Plato, and he believed that the function of a human being was to engage in activity of soul in accordance with our virtues that we have. So he thought that there are two overriding virtues. There is one an intellectual, and there is one moral for him. And the intellectual virtues, he claimed that are acquainted by inheritance and education. And we have philosophical, that is, let's say, theoretical, by understanding the truth of reality. And we have the practical wisdom, which is understood as some daily routine. So this is the difference. And then the intellectual for him is more than knowing what is good. It is doing what is good. So we are doing what we believe that is good, right? Moral virtue is, on the other hand, defined as excellence of character through choices. So while intellectual is knowing what is good and doing what is good, the moral is choosing through choices, through imitation of practice and habits, which means it is choosing what is good for the sake of being good, not for doing what is good, for doing good for the sake of being good, for example. So we are doing that voluntary. Remember my self-reflection question: shall I steal the food to feed the child, right? Intellectual is, this is not good, stealing, right? This is not doing what is good, because stealing, we know intellectually is not right. But from the moral side, oh yes, maybe if I'm in the position that I need to feed my child and I have no food and we are starving, yes, I might come to the point where I will steal the food in the shop for my child if I'm not able to get that food, because I don't want my child to die, right? So these are the two overriding virtues that Aristotle was saying. He thought that basically virtual persons must do the introspection, and this is the major point. Do an honest and reflective evaluation of yourself. Do the introspection. If you want to grow, if you want to be a self-actualized person, if you want to reach all these virtues, and if you want to basically be independent and apply NLP in your life, and not to be I agree or disagree, but be the one that is seeking to understand, then definitely first start from evaluating yourself. Evaluate yourself and do the introspection. There are two ways of viewing ourselves in our life. We can do it on the identity level. So how we are, how we feel, what we do, how we conduct ourselves, or we can do it through the virtues we have. So who we are and what are the virtues that we value. And in the end, we do generally become a reflection of who we are. So we generally become the reflection of the virtues we have in ourselves. And this is the most important thing, because if we develop the virtues, we will be definitely more valuable to other people. There are two questions we need to ask ourselves. What should I do? And what kind of person should I be? And we need to have answers for that. So ask yourself question: what should I do? What kind of person should I be? When you find the answers for yourself, then you will be growing. So if we need to do the introspection, maybe we can do it together with the 12 virtues of Aristotle. He did in his work of Nicomachean Ethics, and maybe we find the answer through these 12 virtues. Aristotle was, this is his statue here, he was very famous, and he said that one first human virtue is courage. Courage, bravery, and valor. What lives on the opposite end of the bravery and valor? What lives at the opposite side of courage? What is it? Anxiety, fear. There are many people who will go through life who are not ready or even willing to consider thinking about growing. Why? Because they fear. Because they become overwhelmed by their emotional states. They are afraid to step out of their comfort zone. So unless we develop the virtue of courage, then we are forever going to stay in the safety zone, in our comfort zone, and we will never going to step outside of that box. So everybody is saying, we are all the time hearing, step out of the box, step outside of the box. Yes, I'm thinking outside of the box. You will in every city find that everybody's saying, yes, yes, I'm thinking outside of the box. But are we really person or people that are thinking outside of the box? Are we courage enough to accept all the challenges in our life? People reject those things because they are not yet ready to hear. People reject those things because they don't understand, maybe. So I was brave enough to stand in front of you. It's, believe me, sometimes not easy, but also within the time you get the practice, and then it comes a virtue of courage that you can go and speak in front of the people. I would maybe more appreciate to see you all in person, but on the other hand, we are also adapting, right, and understanding the situation, which means that we have all gone through the pandemic and learn. We're open to new things, which is now staying at home, work from home, and do the webinars. So find the way or the courage to talk to the computer alone without seeing anybody else, right? So it seems like I'm communicating to myself alone. I hope you're laughing now. So anyway, people reject those things that they don't understand. And I believe that we need to change in our life. I believe we need to have the courage, and we need to change the lives that we have. We need that should be our mission in the end. The courageous persons are aware of the danger that are outside in the world, but that are coming their way, right? But we choose to face them nonetheless. So be courageous, and have the virtue of courage. The next one is temperance, which is self-control and restraint. What does it mean? This is one of the four main cardinal, I would say, cardinal virtues that Aristotle gave. By this, Aristotle meant moderation or self-restraint to a decent extent. The only limits that hold us back in life is self-control and restraint. What it means? Sometimes we might feel intimidated by some things, but it is just because we feel intimidated, it doesn't mean we have to give up, right? It's not that we should be brave enough or courage, like in first virtue, that we go at the edge of the mountain and fall down. Of course, we will die, right? We will kill ourselves immediately. But if we feel intimidated, nonetheless, we have to face. Doesn't mean we have to lock ourselves down. We have to face the fear mode and overcome that anxiety, not by going to the doctor or therapist or by taking medication, right? But facing it, facing ourselves. And if we are self-aware person, if we grow, then we will be able to do that. This is the difference between between NLP practitioners or people that, let's say, work in their life towards understanding NLP. And I read American Psychology Association. They have developed, I think, maybe 50 new diseases this year on panic attacks or something like that. They treat the problems, the issues, the challenges people face. In the end, emotions, I say emotions are diseases. They heal it with the medication. What they do, they give us the medication, you just drink, but they don't heal the source. We need to go to the source. NLP practitioners, like what we do, is we talk to the people and we go to the source. We go to the source and we are trying without medication to open your heart, open your mind, and trying to see things from a totally different perspective. So despite feeling intimidated, we need to experience things. So we need to face it, and that is also a virtue. He called temperance. Liberality, they call it big-heartedness, charity, generosity. This is a virtue. Yes, it's a big virtue. The greatest vision many people have is, I want to have a happy life, to play for it, to work for it. What does it mean, happy life? This is having a nice house, you know, the hierarchy we went through, Maslow's hierarchy. Is it a happy, nice house, I don't know, nice career, a business, you know, stable income maybe coming in. And this is fine, it's okay. We strive for that, we all want that. But then we come to the point of life, what I said in the hierarchy as well, where we want something else. We want to overcome ourselves, right? We want to have a purpose. And big-heartedness allows us to take our eyes off ourselves and to basically put our concern and troubles and challenges and attentions, whatever you want, of other people for the purpose of having value in their life, providing a value in their life, right? So we should get over ourselves, get over yourself, be of a value to other people. Have a generosity, have a big-heartedness for other people. It's a virtue, you know. There's a bigger thing at play in the world than to be focused on ourselves only, right? We have to be value for other people. The fourth one, it's magnificent. They say radiance in French. It's so called joie de vivre. It's the enjoyment of life, what they say. I love my life. Really, I really love my life. It was not easy. I always have challenges in my life, and it was many times very, very hard in my life. But genuinely, I love my life. I absolutely love it. I love every day of my life. I love every night of my life. I love everything that I've been through. You're never going to get me down. People around me knows that I always stand on my feet. There is nothing that can take me out of my feet and basically what they say, shaking me. You're never going to see me panicking as well. You're never going to see me sad. Yes, I can cry, okay, but I'm human, but I will never fall in depression or be so sad that I will need to take a pill. It's a virtue. You have to work on it. You have to work on it. Why? Because it's my life. I accepted it the way it is. I never regret on the decisions I make. Never. Because we are humans and we always do the best with the resources we have in the moment we live. Remember that. You always do the best decisions. So it's always easy to say, yeah, you know, if I was to be done, I would have done this or I would have done that. Or yeah, it's now easy to be what we say general after the battle. But believe me, in that moment when you are making decisions, you're always doing the best decision with the resources that you all have. And this is why I say that I am standing strong on my feet. And I consider myself, because I did so many self-reflection, I'm doing it all the day, every day, self-reflect. You can meditate, you can do yoga, you can do many kind of things where you can self-reflect on yourself. Just don't live in the past. Don't let that your past drag you to behave what you are doing now, because yesterday is a history, tomorrow is a mystery. So live life now, appreciate people in your life, appreciate them, be grateful, because you never know, tomorrow we might not be around. I might not be around. People around you might not be around. And then what? It is not in our control, right? So say thank you, say I love you, enjoy the life to the fullest. This is the magnificent virtue that even Aristotle at that time was talking about. We need to be grateful for our life, and we need to enjoy our life. Then we have pride. Pride is the fifth one, which is self-satisfaction. It is good, believe me, it is good to take a sense of pride in our work, in everything we are doing. If we are not creating something in our life, if we are not contributing to our society or to culture or to nations or organizations or whatever you want, even the team around you, social groups, whatever, if we are not creating something that is valuable in some way, then we have nothing to be proud of, right? We have to be proud of. It's a good for our health. It's a good virtue. So play the standard of personal excellence and give always 100% in everything you're doing. Give always 100%, because we will be the proud of the result that we get in the end and what we see. And this is what makes us better people, right? This is how we grow, because if we are happy, then we get the motivation, and the motivation is what pushes us forward. Honor. Honor is the sixth one. What do I mean by honor? What Aristotle meant by that? It is the respect, reverence, admiration. So create a healthy network of people to associate with, right? Create a healthy network of people around you to associate with. Because we as a people always look for people that are somehow, let's say, likable to our thinking, or anything that we always try to find ourselves the same, like the click people, I would say, the click people. So, but never forget, we are here to respect other people's worldviews and other people's perspective, all of them, not just the one that we like or we associate with. We need to honor every human being on this world, every human being, because we don't know what they went through. We don't know what was life in the past, and we must not judge from our own perspective. Because in NLP, what we say, the map is not the territory. I cannot go into details of that because we are just so much limited with time, and there is so much I could share with you. But the map is not the territory, which means what I take in my hand, the paper, the map that we are seeing, is actually not what it is and what we see. Believe me, it's not. So we need to understand other people's views and other people's perspective. And this means understanding the other people, that sometimes other people don't necessarily know, they don't know what they don't know, right? So we are not here to point the fingers and saying, oh, but you don't know that. They don't know it, they don't know it, right? So my dear audience, please try to contemplate on that, because we don't know what we don't know, and we can't see what we can't see. So instead, ask questions to understand, honor the other side, show the respect to the other side, seek to understand. This is what we said at the beginning. Don't say agree or disagree. It is like, oh yes, I agree, or I disagree. What is the answer, right? What is the answer? What did I say with, oh, I agree or I disagree? Is that my opinion? Is this what I gave you as my answer or my opinion or my state of mind? No. Seek to understand, because we've got to be for other people the kind of people that we want them to be for us, right? Remember all the self-reflection questions. I will treat you with honor and respect because it's a virtuous way of living life and it's all that I have. And you should maybe consider to do and live the life like this as well. The seventh one is a good temper, equanimity, level-headedness. It's written here. It's a virtue of pro-unity, so-called pro-unity. It's not about who is right or who is wrong. I mentioned this book of Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Read it. It's a different perspective. In his book, he's explaining these seven habits, and it is the development that is going from through, let's say, 3 stages, right? From dependence, which is focused on me, only me, to independence, which is focused on you. And we come to the 7th level, which is sharpened the soul. It is interdependence, so-called interdependence. And it's not me, it's not you. So it's not my way, it's not your way. It is our way. It is totally something different, you know. So it's not that we will create 2 + 2 is 4. When we get together and we listen and we respect ourselves and others, then what we will get from 2 + 2, we will get the answer 6 in the end, because we will develop something greater. We will inspire each other. So we need to basically fight to remain connected with each other, right? Fight to remain connected. And this is what good temper is about. If 2 people want to understand each other, they need to fight for it, which is not fight in the marriage like that, because there are many marriages that are fighting. It's not the fighting to overpower you, it's the fight to remain connected. And remember that, because what we really see now in our lives is, I mean, look the world that is happening. Great Britain separated from European Union. Then you have now, I don't know, maybe Scotland or Ireland wanted to separate from England as well. Then you have the France, if Le Pen is going to win, they are afraid that she will also initiate the France going out of European Union. This is not pro-unity. On the other side, we are now all facing the war in Ukraine with Russia. And this is what I call pro-unity, because the military, how military is unified in Ukraine to defend the country, that is a pro-unity. So we need to fight to remain connected. Forget to fight to overpower other person. Fight to remain connected. And this is the good temper virtue. Friendliness, conviviality, sociability. I will not say much, because the word says how open we are, how friendly we are, how sociable. It's a virtue. This is what Aristotle says. It's a virtue. Truthfulness, straightforwardness, frankness, candor, honesty. We mentioned it a few slides earlier when we were talking about congruence. The truth sets people free, right? This is what I said. Well, what will happen if we all have developed open heart in the world, right? A big heart for other people, beyond just ourselves. We just love ourselves. Everybody loves ourselves. But what if we open and develop a big heart for everybody else? If we develop compassion for other people, if it's the emotional intelligence, right? To have high compassion, to be empathic. This is the very one of the very important things in emotional intelligence. And believe me, today in the world, if you are going to enter very soon the working world, IQ is respected, but EQ is even more respected, because You can have all the IQ, but if you don't have the sociability, if you don't have the empathy for other people, then your emotional intelligence is not going to be very high, and it's not going to be respected. And basically, you will not get the opportunity to grow. You will see that most of the CEOs in the world, or the big speakers, or inspired people, they all have very, very high emotional intelligence. Because why? They have open heart, they have big heart, they have empathy for other people. They honor and respect other people. They are courageous, they are brave, they have the pride, but they also honor other people. So develop that compassion for other people, and tell the truth. Tell the truth, because the truth has very, very powerful way of communicating with people. So tell always the truth to other people. But if the truth is maybe hurtful to the other person, then try to wrap it compassionately and in a compassionate way. Don't go around and hurt other people by saying the truth, right? Try to find a way how you will tell the truth. And always have in mind that praising should be in front of everybody. And if we need to share something that is not so nice with the person, then put the person aside and tell it one-to-one. Never judge people openly in front of many other people. What will you be doing? It is what? To satisfy yourself? How, I don't know, we said something against the person. No, we should never do that. This is not what self-actualized person do. This is not what self-mastery is doing. This is not what NLP is proposing. We need to have respect for all people. So whatever we want to do and say, be truthful. Why? Because Mark Twain once said, they say that it is said by Mark Twain, but it was never confirmed 100%. It said, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. And that is the truth. Because people who lie, who make up things, they need to think about that, and they need to think about what they are saying, and they remember, and they usually catch themselves in their network. So develop the courage to be truthful. It's honorable. It's a virtue. The 10th one is wit and sense of humor. So meaningless and absurdity. The virtue relates to good sense of humor and intellect. So according to Aristotle, the golden mean on wittiness is between being boorishness, which is dignity, and buffoonery, which is the arrogance. So we need to find the balance between the two, and for him that is the best, the golden, what he said, the golden mean. The 11th one is friendship. Oh yes, we cannot live without people around us, without companionship, without what they call here camaraderie. Friendship might be considered as a waste of time by many of us, but you would be surprised to know that even Aristotle assigned a very important position to the friendship in a happy and virtuous life. If you want to have a happy and virtuous life, surround yourself with very, very good friends. We have seen that even in Maslow's hierarchy, right? A few slides ago. We need friendship in our life. We need to have a balance of right, proper and good friends around us. So surround yourself. It's a virtue. It's a virtue to be a good friend to somebody else and to have good friends around us. And finally, the 12th one is a justice, impartiality and fairness. It's a cardinal virtue. Again, one of the cardinal virtues, I would say, if not the main one. Why? Do not judge people around. Try to strive for justice. Because what Aristotle said is, it is in justice that the ordering of society is centered. It is in justice that the order of society is centered. Every human being must demonstrate equality in their actions and behaviors. As simple as that. We must not be selfish, but also not selfless. So we need to find the balance of fairness, right? Fairness. Always be fair. Do not judge people. Do not point fingers in anybody because it's not fair. Be fair, be and have justice always. Try to always. So, because what we tend to do is when we prefer somebody, then we are like, we always want that person more. No, we have to be fair. This is very important for the managers because managers sometimes do prefer their own employees in their teams, while it's not good because we should behave and have justice for all people, not just preferable ones. And this is basically what I had to share. I already crossed my time, but I hope you're still there with me. I came to an end and I should say something for the closing message. I tried to give my best in this a little bit more than 60 minutes to give you an insight of NLP, what NLP can do in our lives. It's a huge topic, believe me. I conduct webinars. I have 3 webinars. 2 is basic ones and for 5 hours. And then the third one is on NLP techniques. We are going to have that in June as well. We will organize in English as well. So if you're interested, you are always able to contact me and join. So this 60 minutes, I try to let's say present you or give you an insight of what NLP can do, but it's so much more to it. Remember always that living a virtuous life, this is what I want to say to you, is directed towards self-actualizations that occur when we maximize our potential. By being the best version of ourselves, we are capable of being. And this is what we need to discover in ourselves. I believe that each of you who was listening today found at least one valuable thing that maybe rang the bell in their head or maybe had aha moment during this my presentation. So instead of giving you long closing thought, I wanted to share 2 quotes with you from the person that you all very well know, and it's very famous. To me, it's one of the best person ever that's left a legacy to the whole world. We are still living his legacy. He was born, for me, what I say, in 1 century, but will be remembered for millenniums to come. He is former Indian president. He is Dr. Abdul Kalam, and his legacy can be an example to all of us. His life was full of struggles and hardship, but nonetheless, he rose above all that and become one of the greatest Indian and world personalities to remember. Great, aerospace scientist, you know it very well, but he was also a politician, president, leader, teacher, writer, you just name it. If you haven't read his autobiography, Wings of Fire, I strongly recommend you read it. So here is one of his quotes that I would say is also related closely to NLP. Difficulties in your life do not come to destroy you, but to help you realize your hidden potential and power. So let difficulties know that you too are difficult. So face everything that comes to our life. And the second one is, if 4 things are followed: having a great aim, so it's vision, purpose, whatever we have, acquiring knowledge, hard work, and perseverance, then anything can be achieved. So I wish you all that you all strive for that you all succeed in all these things that we went through in this presentation. And I thank you again for participating in this webinar. I want to thank again to Mr. Patel for inviting me. It was my pleasure. And it was really great to be at the Pearl University, which is one of the famous universities at the Gujarat. I was twice in India. I was twice visiting Mumbai and Goa, and I hope that the next time I visit India, I will be able to visit you at the university. So for all questions or anything you want to ask, or you are interested more about any topics related to financial planning and analysis, or here related to NLP, you can visit my webpage, or you can straight write me an email. Do not hesitate, just come to me and I will be happy to give you some answers, or maybe we can organize a video call. So thank you. This is all from my side.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, but I don't see anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I see you perfectly. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. I think you have covered almost all our doubts regarding human values. And but I have one question: how we can differentiate between our human values and professional ethics?
How we can differentiate with our human values and
Our professional ethics.
I would say this is all connected, right? Don't differentiate it. Never differentiate, because what you are in human, you apply in your professional ethic, you apply at your work. So just be the person that you want to be, because if you want to differentiate, it's not going to be good. We cannot be friends to our team. We cannot be friends to the people that we work with. But in the end, we have to be friends in some way, right? Because if we don't develop a very good relationship with others, if we don't, what I say, respect other people, honor other people, give them right, and always seek to understand, because we tend to jump on their whatever they say. We don't have to. We always think what we will say as an answer, instead of listening what others are saying, right? It is as important to listen as it is important to speak. It is more even important to listen. You know, it is said we don't have one mouth to speak and 2 ears to listen for nothing, right? So speak with one mouth, but listen with 2 ears. So this is how we will, in our work atmosphere, in our professional ethic, grow. It's who we are. It's who we are. It's mixed. Don't split it. Don't split it. Just do the self-reflection. Find what is, where are the things that you can grow, and I'm sure then it will be evaluated by the colleagues around.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think we don't have any other questions right now. So just thank you so much, madam, for joining with us today and giving us your valuable time. I'm sure this session would be helpful to both our students as well as faculties. I'm thankful to the head of the department, Mr. Hemal Patel, sir, and our head of the institute, Mr. Jatin Vaidya, sir, and the president of our Parul University, Dr. Devanshi Patel, sir, for supporting and motivating us continuously in conducting such webinars. Thank you so much, and we hope we meet you again.
Oh, sure. It will be my pleasure. It will be my pleasure. So, okay, have a great day and enjoy. And thank you. Please
Yeah,
send my
nice.
best regards to everybody. We will stay in touch. Okay. Thank you so much.
Have a
So
nice
I just press leave now, right?
Yes.
I just press leave now.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.